Hey guys, welcome back to AFTV Next Gen. My name is Harvey, and this is of course Robbie. Or this way, I'm going to get used to you on the other side because we're back away from the studio, unfortunately.
Tier 4.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've seen all the things. Oh yeah, tier 10 is Boris Johnson comes to your house to check on you or something. But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, anyway, let's get to
At least it hasn't affected the football world. Then having that, you don't know. But we might be better off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And we spoke about it in detail last week, and we were like, yes, come on, maybe Southampton's the one we can win. And then Everton come along, maybe that's the one we can win. But no, and there was something that we said as well, was the players that could come back to haunt us. Theo Walcott came back to haunt us. Iwobi got a cross in for that goal. It's, I think it's happening. So, yeah.
Who else we got coming up? We got
Giroud for Chelsea.
Giroud against Chelsea.
Welbeck for Brighton.
Welbeck at Brighton. And then somebody said to me yesterday, we got Kieran Gibbs, West Brom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
All right.
It's got to turn around sometime. I don't know when.
Well,
I don't think it will turn around with the Man City game. I think that's going to be, they're so good in this in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea, they got a win, of course, 3-0 West Ham. It wasn't a 3-0 game, actually. I was watching it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, West Ham pushed them all the way, but they still beat them 3-0. And that's our next game. And I'm looking at all these people who keep saying we're not in relegation trouble. Burnley got a win yesterday. A couple more wins for them and Fulham and stuff like that. And we could literally be in the bottom three. So this is serious now, No more joking with this thing. We've got to start getting some wins together.
I know, but I don't know where I can be like, oh yeah, that's a clear win. Because normally when you look at the fixture, you think, oh yeah, Burnley will win that, Southampton will win that, Everton, yeah, probably win that. Wolves.
There's no clear wins. There's no clear because we're in relegation trouble and we got relegation form. So we're playing the way we're playing. There's no clear wins in any team because what's happening is the team, they're going out and they've got a lot of fear in them. The fear of losing. They're not going out and playing free-flowing football. They're not going out and playing teams and saying to themselves, yeah, we should do these lot today. They're going out there and saying, we have to win this today. And what happens if we don't win this? Now we get even closer and closer to the relegation zone. And this is kind of why at times like this, you do see clubs looking at changing the manager. But obviously, at Arsenal, they're looking like this. They're going to stick with Mikel Arteta. I said it in the Bias Premier League show yesterday. If you're sticking with him, then they have to back him.
Yeah. And
not back him half-heartedly. They have to back him properly, which means getting rid of the deadwoods. And really,
a lot of deadwood at the club, and
literally the whole squad's deadwood right now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna give us some stats about the Man City game for the Carabao Cup tonight. But before I do, as you can see in the top corner, Mask FC is sponsoring this video. We had a brilliant use for the masks last week by putting them over your eyes. But again, if you are out and about, you do need one of these, and why not go to maskfc.com and use code AFTV for 10% off? I mean, I don't see why not. You can also get them in this color and this color. Perfect. And then also any other color if you support Chelsea, United, or whatever. Doesn't matter. They have you covered. So go ahead, and they're great quality. So anyway, the first stat is this one. So Arsenal and Man City last met in the League Cup in the 2018 final. Of course, City won 3-0. And we've actually lost our last three League Cup matches against City. After losing in the 09-10 and the 11-12 season, then of course that 2018 final. Yep. So I don't know. Doesn't really show that we're.
Was that final, man? that was a humiliation. I swear to God, right? We barely laid a glove on them, right?
Yeah.
It was a really humiliating time. And they're very good in this competition because they have got this. The reason why they've won it the last 3 years in a row is they've just got an unbelievable squad. So they don't need to, or even when they've so-called rested players, the players that come in are of such quality. You know what I mean? That basically you're playing against they basically put out a first team because they've got 2 first teams all the way through the competition. So I don't know who would be, you know, they can bring in Bernardo Silva, who's he's not been in the first team.
He would walk into our team right now. He'd walk into our team anyway.
Exactly.
Right now.
You know, Foden, who'd walk into our team, can start this game. You know what I mean? You know, right throughout the team, I think Laporte didn't start the last game. He can play. You know,
cool about this game, like
Nathan Ake, who'd walk into our team. He hasn't been. He can come off the bench and start. You know what I mean? So
you're hopeful? Are you hopeful we can get a result, or is it just like we're going to lose? That's it. We'll watch the game.
You're always hopeful because you know we beat them in the semi-final of the FA Cup, but I think that was different because you know semi-final of the FA Cup, we got our strongest possible team out there. In this game, I don't know what sort of team we're going to go with. We've got Chelsea on Boxing Day. This game is a quarter-final, so it's a chance if we win to go through to the semi-finals, which is then a chance of another trophy on Arteta's CV. But
that's true. For
me, when I look at the 2 games, for me, the most important game is that Chelsea game on Boxing Day. You know what I mean? You know, we're at home. If we could get a win in that game, that's going to be extremely difficult. But if we could, and then we went to Brighton and get a win, all of a sudden, you start to see things a little bit of a turnaround, and then we go into January, maybe get a couple of players. And so I feel those games are way more important than tonight's game. But, you know, we're Arsenal Football Club, so we should still be able to put out a fairly strong team to play that game. It's just that our squad is just nowhere near the quality of Manchester City. You know what I mean? And, you know, the players, whether it be the players that start every week or the players that come in, they're just not being up to the right standard. I mean, I guess tonight, Granit Xhaka could play, couldn't he? Because does his ban? I'm not sure if he's.
I'm not sure if it goes into. No, I think maybe the FA Cup it affects. I'm not sure if it affects the League Cup.
Well, you know, I think it.
Or I might be talking.
I think it might do. I think it might do so he'd be able to play against Chelsea. I'm not sure. I'd have to double check that. But even some of those guys coming in, you know, Cedric.
Oh yeah, he'll miss the Carabao Cup game.
Yeah, Carabao Cup.
Be available. He'll
be available. Yeah. So you know, yeah, you know what I mean? So the midfield's still going to be probably, I don't know, like the other day. And, you know, I guess El Neni will play. Sorry?
Empty, I guess, the midfield.
Well, our midfield's dreadful. You know, you compare it to their midfield. It's.
I mean, I have nothing to say. I literally have nothing to say. It's just
I'd like to see tonight some of the youngsters get a chance. I'd like to see Smith Rowe start. I'd like to see Balogun, even if he doesn't start, to get a chance off the bench.
Balogun has to be involved either in this game or the Chelsea game. It's a no-brainer.
I don't know what I'd do with Martinelli. I don't know if I'd save him for the Chelsea game
or risk him in the Man City.
Have him on the bench and give him a few minutes. I don't want to start him in this game and anything happens to him. Because he looked lively when he came on the other day, and you know, we could still possibly be without Aubameyang for that Chelsea game. So I'm not too sure if I'd only risk him like minutes. I'm not sure if I'd risk him from the start, because as I said, for me that game's more important. So, but Balogun, give Balogun a shot. I think if Balogun had that chance that fell to Eddie the other day, he would have buried it. He's looked sharper than Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you as well on you know, not risking players or, you know, being careful with who we select, but I don't think Mikel Arteta thinks like that, unfortunately. I feel like he might do what we don't want him to do, because he's done it before which is unfortunate. But he'll play like a mix of players that will start and won't start, and it's like the players who we think should be rested, he'll end up playing, and then it's like, oh, it's just a bit of a mix of, you know.
I want him to start Bellerin, and I want him to rest Maitland-Niles, because to me Maitland-Niles should start against Chelsea.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see what he picks out. Another stat that I've got is this one. So Arsenal have been eliminated from 6 of their last 8 League Cup quarterfinals. We've reached semi-final in 10-11 and 17-18, and this is also the 29th appearance for Arsenal at this stage, which is the most out of any other club. So you've got a mix of stats in there. You've got a nice one that we've got the most appearances in at this stage. Brilliant, cool. But again, the history of Arsenal seems to be cropping up all the time, but not for good things. And then you've got the not so nice stat is that 6 of the last 8 quarterfinals in the League Cup we've been knocked out. So
I guess that's because, especially under Arsene Wenger, he didn't really take. It was a competition. I think he was kind of the person that invented that in this competition. That basically he just sent out a load of kids, and the kids would play and play and play and play till they got knocked out. And that's how he used to do it. So I feel that that's the reason why that stat is like that. You know what I mean? So those kids would be good enough to get us to the quarterfinals. But then when you get to the quarterfinals now and you come up against the real good teams, you need to then bring in the senior players to get you over the line. And I think that what he used to do basically is like, nah, kids, they've got us this far. Let's see if they can get us to all the way. If we get knocked out, I don't really care. And I think that's why that stat is like that. Whereas if you look at a Man City, for instance, with Pep Guardiola, he's like, every competition you're in, I want to win. They don't even play kids. In a way, I like the fact that Arsenal do give youngsters a chance. I mean, a team like City, the youngsters get no chance. You know what I mean? They've got one of the best academies in world football, but you never ever hardly see. I mean, look how hard Foden's had to fight to get a place in the team. I mean, start in practically every other team in the Premier League, but they basically go and buy everything in. So, but I think at Arsenal, they've always given youngsters a chance in this competition. This has been a competition where they said, right. And as I said, especially under Arsene Wenger, because remember, you couldn't really blood a lot of youngsters because in them times we were playing a lot of Champions League.
Yeah,
exactly. So this was a competition that he was like, all right, kids, go out, do your thing. So I think that's my theory behind that stat.
So going into tonight, you think we're going to get a result? What the score? Do you think you're going to be like? Honestly, like I
said we did a live last night, and I said it'd be a draw and we win on penalties. That's the only way I could see something like that, us getting through.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if we beat Man City. They're just such a good team. Although they haven't been playing as well as
they drew against West Brom, didn't they?
West Brom got a draw against them.
And then the manager got sacked, but you know,
they beat Southampton 1-0. You know, I mean, they've not been overly convincing this season, but they've still been, you know, they still have that. It's the quality that they have. I mean, I watched the game at the weekend with Liverpool, and they were playing against Palace, and they went 1-0 up. Yeah. And basically, Palace were all over them. They had chances, didn't take them. But Liverpool, as soon as their chances came at the other end, they were just so clinical because of the quality of players they had. And that's the difference. And I think, you know what, when I look at a lot of Arsenal's performances this season, whilst they haven't been good, there's been chances.
Yeah.
If you're more clinical, all of a sudden those results look different. The Leeds game, when Saka's through 1-on-1, he doesn't take that chance.
Yeah.
The game the other day, you know what I mean? Again, a wide open chance for Eddie, doesn't take it. You know what I mean? And this is where you need clinical players, right? When you're not doing well, you know, they'll get you over the line. That's why I always say Aubameyang's so important, even though he's not been great this season, but he is a clinical player.
He meant to be. Yeah, you're right.
We don't have enough of those players in our side, and that's the lack of quality. That when times are tough, you see that with Man United, they've had tough times. Bruno Fernandes, people like that, just get them over the line. Cavani, you know. So I think that's the difference right now, is that lack of quality, and that's what needs to be addressed urgently at Arsenal.
I think January will be a good tell of how that goes. And again, as I've said, I still back Arteta till the end of January. See who goes, see who comes in, and then we have to go from there.
I see this morning they're looking to give Rob Holding a new contract.
Yeah,
that's controversial.
It's that. You know, going to try and sign another centre back, or is he going to be a backup? What I don't know.
I don't know. He's you know, to me, we need better than Rob Holding if we're going to be challenging for titles in the future.
But yeah, I agree.
I guess backup. That'd be interesting. Callum Chambers should probably play tonight. Pablo Mari, who's been, you know, injured a lot.
Europa League squad, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Might see him tonight.
Okay, well, I guess we've got to wait and see. There is one stat which is actually about Rob Holding from the Everton game, which I wanted to bring up, which just kind of blows my mind about how we're getting so many stats that keep cropping up from past things, and it's just a bit creepy how these things are just happening. So it's this one. So Rob Holding's own goal was the third by an Arsenal player in the Premier League this season. Okay, we know that one. There was obviously Saka versus Villa and Aubameyang versus Burnley. But we've also had, so the Gunners have netted just 2 own goals in their previous 4 league campaigns combined. We've already scored 3 this season. And also something which isn't on there, which I want to mention, is that Rob Holding is the first player since Mikel Arteta to score an own goal against Everton.
I know, I saw that one.
For me,
own goals, sending offs. I mean, I thought Danny Ceballos was very lucky not to get sent off in that game.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so you know how many the red cards, the own goals. What does that tell you? That's a desperate team, isn't it? That's a team in a mess. That's a desperate team. It's desperate teams that score own goals a lot. It's desperate teams that get a lot of players sent off. You know, teams that are doing well don't get players sent off. You know. Well, so it's desperate times. It's desperate times, and a turnaround is needed. We need some good news, man.
I'm afraid I haven't got any.
You know what I mean? We're going into Christmas as Arsenal fans. We ain't won a game this month. You know, shocking in the league.
As well, like I'm only 17, so the best thing that I've known is a few FA Cups, and there's actually one thing that's on my wall which I wanted to show you. All right. I have this on my you can see I have this on my wall. Yeah. Last game at Highbury thing with a squad and everything. I'm thinking,
I was there.
Things started going downhill from here.
It was. Because when we were at Highbury, we challenged every year. We won things. We were a fair team. You know, we were a team that everybody admired our football. And then ever since we've moved to the Emirates, it's almost like we've been cursed. You know what I mean? Everything's gone downhill. You know, it's been an absolute disaster moving to the Emirates. Now, you know, we're now in 2020, new decade. What do these owners do now to turn that around, to start to show, you know, I want to see the best of Arsenal now. I think we've gone through a whole decade of rubbish, of horrific football.
Trophies, but
now is the time. It's a new decade. I want those owners to sit down and say, right, now is the comeback of Arsenal Football Club. Now is the comeback. But at the moment, you know, it's not. I mean, I said this. I said this yesterday. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to come back strong. You don't want to hit rock bottom. You shouldn't have to hit rock bottom. You should see it coming. That's what planning is all about. You can see, when you plan, you can see decline coming. So you can say, oh, you know what, we need a new striker. We need to change this. We need to shake up that a bit. And you avert that serious decline. But what we've done over the years has been years and years of neglect. And it's a bit like a house. When you neglect it for years and years, or a car, you neglect it. There's no MOT. There's no service. You know, one day you're driving along in that car. You're driving along in that car. It's giving you certain problems. You know, you can, every now and again, you feel a little thing, but you keep persisting and that. And one day it just conks out.
Well, it's definitely conked out.
And then you have to spend loads and loads of money to either get it back on the road, or you've got to get rid of it, scrap it, and start again. And that's the situation that Arsenal, we're like an old banger right now, right? And we either need to trade it in and get a new one, which will be the owners, get new owners, or, right, or they urgently need to sell that old car and get a new one. In other words, go and get a load of new players, get rid of the dead wood, and get us back on track. That would be my analogy of the day. We're all bangers.
That's good. I know that's a good one. I mean, one more thing as well. Whenever I speak to you now, and we're a bit of a mess, all I can hear in my head is, when is it going to end, Robbie? And I'm refraining from saying it. But I'm not saying that we need to think about it now, but when is it going to end, Robbie?
As I said, it can end. It's a new year we're going into.
Easily.
We're going into a new year. As I said, it can end if these owners seriously back the manager, right? I've still got my doubts on Mikel Arteta because it's been such poor form. But if they're backing him, fair enough. I'm up for that. But give him the funds to bring in the players so that we can properly judge him. It's really hard to even judge him at the moment because there's such dross in that team, man. And the thing is about Harvey, some of these players, they've had enough chances, man.
Agreed.
We're not talking about a player that's just come in, you know, and, you know, I know everyone's on Willian's case at the moment, and he has been dreadful, but he's just come, yeah? I'm talking about there's players that's been there for years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. They've done nothing in that time to deserve the status that they have. They've done nothing. Those players need to go. Move them on and bring in, you know, quality now. And the other thing is, stop buying rubbish, man. Stop buying players like Willian that are at the end of their career. Look to the future. You see, when you make good signings like Gabriel and Partey, those are the type of signings that I want to see Arsenal making going forward. And stop, you know, being tight with the money. Go and get Awar. Get him.
Please.
You know, don't look at it and think, oh, well, Awar's going to cost that, so we're going to have to go for a cheap option that hopefully will come good. We're not in that. We want to do that right now.
Cheap option.
Yeah, and put some thought into what we're doing. I said at the start of the season, I said, we need a plan B off the bench. We need a player that's like, who can come on, who's good in the air, who's a bit different to all the other strikers. We didn't do that.
So Olivier Giroud, for example?
Huh?
Olivier Giroud, for example?
Not an Olivier Giroud either, because Olivier Giroud's 34. Just somebody who's, you know, go. I mean, these guys, they can do their research. Go and research who that player is, get him and bring him in.
Let's hope so.
You know?
Okay. Well, anyway, we got Man City tonight. I mean, again, not very optimistic. Hopeful, but not optimistic. Let's hopefully we can get a result. Chelsea on Boxing Day. Again, let's hope we can get a result there. And last thing here, maskfc.com. Use code AFTV for 10% off. Antiviral. Finish, you know, nanofiltration, Robbie, nanofiltration technology. I know you liked that last week. So they're great. Use code AFTV.
Over your face if Arsenal are playing terribly.
And that as well. And I think we'll get one more next in before New Year. I want to focus on some potential transfers. So keep your eyes out for that. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much, and keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, come on, Arsenal. Let's start getting some wins. It all starts tonight. Thank you, Robbie, for joining me.
Thank you.
Masks. These are the new normal. But what you want to do is get yourself an Arsenal-inspired mask. And also, these masks are comfortable. Best ones I've worn, and they actually do the job. If you want to get one, the link is in the description right now. Go to maskfc.com and get 10% off.